All right, well, I've been working on the interior and take a look at what we got. So tank is gone, all the carpet's gone. Dash I took out because I don't want to make a mess of it. I just actually rebuilt that. I could tell there's a lot of holes to fill. You can see that there was another type of seat mounted in. But anyway, we're not working on that. We are going to be working on the dash. So I'm hoping to get this thing stripped down to bare metal today. I don't have a lot of time, but let's see what we find. Let's see here we got. Oh, wow, that was pretty miserable. Yep, that was super miserable. That was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, and a lot itchier. Good times. Time to clean up. All right, it's a new day, and let me show you what we're working with. All right, so I cleaned the paint and the Bondo and all the filler out, and this is what we're working with. It looks like we need to do a patch here. We got a patch right here, a little bit that we need to fix. And then obviously this needs to be dealt with. We got some holes where they riveted stuff to it, and then some cuts in the steel here. So I figured there's probably a couple different options. We could do a patch here, and then patch this up, and then just weld up the holes in these cuts. We could go that route. We could do a whole patch panel and catch most of it. I don't want to mess with the ashtray hole because it's pretty much perfect. With the exception, if we do a big patch, I think I would cut it up here and then cut to that corner, take out this whole piece right here, and then cut it up here and up there, and then do this sliver here, cut it all the way down, and then have all of this one piece patched in. I think that's the last resort. I think I'm going to try to do piece by piece, just because it might be easier for me than trying to line up everything. I don't know what you guys think, but here are the patch panels that we're working with. So I got 2 of these. This one right here was extremely damaged in shipping. I've actually fixed it a little bit, but they did ship me another one, and they never asked for that one back. This is an actual dash cutout of a truck, and this is what I would like to use, at least for this part, because it's a much better fit. I think for this part here and this part here, we can get out of here. We can try that. And then if none of that works, then I'm going to use this for a big patch panel. The problem with this one is it's pretty rusty along the bottom. I mean, it's rusted through even. And so we'd have to really clean it up to see how good it is. This got cut out of a truck that had no top to the cab. So it sat in the weather, got pretty rusty. But I think it can be cleaned up. So I'm going to clean off one of these, and I'm going to cut out the pieces that we need here, the piece that we need here, try to get those in and go from there. Let's go. All right, so I got everything taped off here. To kind of check the squareness, I used this is like an aluminum magnet from a show, and so I kind of use that to make the tape square, just to get it as square as possible. And then I'm gonna see, you can see that it's got a little bit of metal there, down here. I'll trim all that off, trim that off there, and then I'm gonna cut this little bit out, and I'm hoping I can patch it with that. I do have a rough cut panel for it, for this side. And then this one from here, obviously it's gonna have to be trimmed down a lot, but see what we get. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and shave this thing down. I got the main part of the windshield covered up anyway. Squared that off a little bit better. I mean, it's not perfect, but I think we're okay. So I don't know if you care or not, but the factory metal is 18 gauge. Repopped is also 18 gauge. So at least they use the right thickness of metal. Holy crap, it works! Dude, that's easy! What? Okay, it's not gonna be that easy once I weld it though, right? Because when I weld it, it gets hard, and then you can't work it, right? Shazam! Oh, we still have some work to do. But this is all, man, I'm gonna have to weld here. So I don't know, is it worth straightening it out now? I mean, once I cut into it, it's gonna go all floppy on me anyway. Because I think I'm gonna cut here, maybe through those 2 holes, 3 holes, maybe right on the outside of that. I don't know, I'm gonna try to weld these up and see where we go from there. That could come out a little bit. I mean, is it supposed to be? This is how it's supposed to be. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's good. All right, so I got our pieces here. This one is obviously gonna go there. Now I will cut it a little bit long. We got that little piece that we need to cut out. I don't know if is that gonna work? Isn't that like, I don't know, too close? Should I make it bigger? Cut it out a little bit further? I don't know. You can't really help me because by the time I post this, it's gonna be done. And we got this. Now I do understand that this thing, when I cut it in, it's gonna slide out the thickness of the metal. So I know, and I need to leave a little bit on this end. It's gonna slide that way. And I'm gonna make it so it's butted tight. Now I know that there's 2 schools of thought. You got people like Bad Chad, he says, you know, you gotta gap it. If you don't gap it, when you grind down your weld, there won't be enough holding it and it'll crack. It'll make it weak. When you gap it, you can put your weld through and it'll come through on the backside. Makes it really strong if you gap it. And then you got people like Make It Custom. Now he says butt it touching and run your welder hotter to penetrate through. And you run it low, you want to run it for not as long, but hotter. So then it forces it to burn all the way through to the backside. And then it actually creates less heat. I kind of like that way of thought, so that's what I'm gonna try. One thing that's consistent between both is that they say that the gap has to be consistent, right? So if it's touching or close, you want it close all the way around. If it's gapped, you want it gapped the same all the way around. Apparently that'll get you where you want to be. Oh, my boys are home. I bet you dollars to donut they're gonna want to hit the pool today. They don't know I'm home. Usually mom's home today. They just realized that I'm home, I think.
What should you?
What's up, guys?
Making a video?
I was. How was school?
Good. Why are you closed?
Because I was grinding in here. Look what I did to the dash.
Whoa.
Yay! Yikes! See, I'm gonna weld this patch in right here.
Now do what?
Well, see, it'll have the heater controls here, like the blue truck. And then we'll have the ashtray here, and then I'm gonna weld in a patch panel here.
Oh! Now I get it.
So we can have a
Can
stereo.
we go to the pool? Yeah.
You wanna go to the pool?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I gotta go back. It would be good for you. I bet you've been sitting there for a long time.
You know what? I think you're right. Yep.
It's not actually good for your bones to sit.
Pool time.
Yes!
Get ready. Peace out.